Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Teddy, aka Teddy Bear XD, and today I'll be going over a recap of my second Mirror Cup of the month, which would be Season 1 Regionals. This was, like the last one, not in person, so it was a remote tournament that I participated in. We had, I think, 9 people in this tournament, so this tournament will go 4 rounds. So I'll have 4 matches to go over with you. So I'll just show you the teams here real quick. And so you can see my team there at the top. I'm bringing Azumarill, Medicham, Sableye, Melmetal, Skarmory, and Whiscash. And you can see the rest of the teams there. The first person that I'll be facing is Youngsta Joey. So he's bringing Skarmory and Venusaur, Azumarill, Medicham, Bastiodon, and Swampert. So really I'm worried about his Swampert. I don't really have a counter to it. Really, Grass would be the best counter for that, and I do not have a Grass type. Even Glade would work with Leaf Blade, but I don't have anything like that in my team, so I'm a little worried about that. So I really want to save the Azumarill specifically for the Swampert. But we'll go ahead and we'll jump right into the matches here. So I've got my 6 right there. I noticed Melmetal would be good against most of his team, and people like leading Azumarill and Skarmory, so I decided to delete Melmetal in this case. So even if he does lead Azumarill, I'm still in a good position, because Melmetal does beat Azumarill, and it beats Azumarill even harder if it's running Ice Beam and Play Rough. But we'll see what he leads. And the main reason why I didn't lead Azumarill is so I could catch the Swampert. So I do lead Melmetal, and he leads Medicham, which is pretty bad for me. So I switch out right away into Azumarill. It's a fairly safe switch, because if he switches in to Venusaur, I have Ice Beams, and you can get 2 shields, or at least a lot of damage on Venusaur with Ice Beams. So I figure he's going to bring in Venusaur, and he does. So I throw an Ice Beam. It does a lot of damage. And he's running Razor Leaf, so he's not going to be able to get to a Frenzy Plant very quick, and I am actually able to get to the Ice Beam. So I've successfully burned a shield and done a lot of damage, and I still have both shields remaining. So I'm bringing in Skarmory here. I don't need to worry about either charge move, so I can save my shields. And it's Sludge Bomb, which is fine. And he brings the Swampert in. This is okay, especially since I have 2 shields. Sky attacks will do a lot, and I'll be able to double shield a Hydro Cannon or something here. So I do shield the first Hydro Cannon. Swampert gets to that Hydro Cannon so dang quick, it's scary. So I do decide to double shield. I kind of need to keep the Skarmory alive to be able to kill the Medicham efficiently. So I throw the Sky Attack right away. And he does block it. All I need to do is get to a Sky Attack here. I tried to switch there just to soak the Power Up Punch. I could have gotten to a move easily, but wasn't able to. Kind of a bad play on my part, but he ended up throwing Ice Punch instead for some reason, but all I need to do is land the Sky Attack. He does hit a move here. It's probably Power Up Punch, and it's not going to quite be able to KO me. Oh, it's Ice Punch. If he had gone Power Up Punches instead of Ice Punches there, he would have been able to take that from me. But I sneak away with that win. I definitely should not have been switching in that situation, as either move there wouldn't have taken me out. As Skarmory, I should have just thrown the Sky Attack right away. But I thought wrongly that the Power Up Punch would KO, and then I wouldn't get to a Sky Attack fast enough. But live and learn. So this time I go with Azumarill in the lead. And I decide to bring Medicham instead of Melmetal. Mostly because I'm worried about the Swampert. And Medicham can take down Swampert with shields. And surprisingly, he didn't bring Azumarill. So I lead Azumarill, and he leads Bastiodon. Really good matchup for me here. As long as I can land the Hydro Pump. So I try to catch him with the Hydro Pump here. And it does go through, he takes it. Obviously he didn't know that was coming, but it's definitely a mistake not to shield the Hydro Pump. And I'm not going to shield the Stone Edge. It does a decent amount of damage, but not enough for me to worry about it. And I'm going to switch into Skarmory. A little late on the switch, but it's okay. I definitely don't need to block anything he's going to throw at me. Just farm it up for energy. So I expected he was going to bring in Bastiodon again to try to catch my Sky Attack, but he did not for some reason. So I threw the Flash Cannon, which is not ideal in that situation, but I do get to another Sky Attack here. It's going to force a second shield. Oh, he does not shield. He doesn't shield. I'm pretty far ahead here, so I just bring in a Azumarill, finish him off. Throw the Ice Beam, because I know he has to shield or he's dead, so may as well use less energy. And I switch in the Medicham just to finish him off with counters. and end with 2 shields left is still. So well played there. And so we've got our next opponent, which will be, hold on, let me figure out who my next opponent is. I think it's a little Bossa. So you can see the team that I have again up there, just for reference. And a little Bossa is bringing Azumarill, Skarmory, Swampert, Venusaur, Toxicroak, and Probopass. So instead of running Medicham, she's running Toxicroak, which is interesting. I don't have a Confusion user, so it's not like I can destroy the Toxicroak. I think they pretty much play the same role in any way, so Azumarill can take it down. It really needs to be wary of the Sludge Bomb, and Skarmory does fine because neither of Toxicroak's charge moves are going to do anything. So Skarmory's really good against his team generally, except for Probopass. So we'll go ahead and jump into the second matchup here. And I decided to lead Skarmory because a lot of my teams are weak to Venusaur, so I expect people to lead Venusaur when they see my team. So I lead Skarmory, and it's a mirror for Skarmory, so not terrible for me, but not ideal. So I'm just gonna build up energy here. Gonna let the Sky Attack hit me because it's not a problem. Throw a Sky Attack of my own. I missed one of them there. I only got a Great, unfortunately. Still gonna let the Sky Attack hit me. Not gonna do very much. And I'm gonna switch out into Medicham here. Get off the Power Up Punch. And I do need to shield the Sky Attack or it'll deal a ton of damage. I should have probably considered taking that. But I am able to build up enough energy to get to another charge move here. And this is a fine matchup, especially since I've already got one attack boost. So I do decide to shield the Hydro Cannon, because I know I can deal a lot of damage here just with counters, and I might be able to force a shield here as well, which I do. And I decide to switch into Azumarill to take the Hydro Cannon here. Get him to waste all that energy. And I am able to take down Swampert with just fast moves there. And it is Probopass. I try to bait here with Ice Beam. But a really gutsy no shield there good move not to shield that. That was pretty clutch. If that had been Hydro Pump, that probably would have one-shot. And since I'm probably going to die to the next charge move, I decided just to throw Hydro Pump here. And it does get blocked. And I over-tapped there, which means I don't get to that Ice Beam. Switch in Skarmory to take the charge move, and I'm barely able to get to that Flash Cannon, which will finish him off. So a pretty close match there on the first one, but I am able to take that one. And we'll get into the second of the best of 3 here. I liked my lineup from the last one. But I decided to lead with Medicham this time. And another Skarmory lead, so this is, I can win this in the 2 shield scenario, but I've got to burn both shields, and Skarmory only needs to burn 1. So smart not shielding the first power-up punch there, and I need to shield this. Start chunking down with counters. Get to another power punch. Let's see if the shield comes up for this one. And it does. And just gets to that Sky Attack before I'm able to get to another power punch. And unfortunately I did tap that power punch. It's possible I would have gotten away with finishing him off with fast moves, but we take the Skarmory down there. I am able to get to another power-up punch. And I do another switch into a Azumarill to tank the Hydro Cannon. And I just wait too long to throw that Ice Beam, which means I get hit with an Earthquake, which is a lot of damage. I probably should have built up a little more energy after that Earthquake instead of just throwing the Ice Beam. And it is Probopass again. And I overtap again and don't get to the Ice Beam. I might have wanted to bring in Skarmory instead of Medicham there, but that was a tough call. I don't know. If I would have brought in Skarmory first, I could have waited out the switch window, and then right as it threw a charge move, I could bring in Medicham and counter it down. That was probably the best play, but I Did not make that play. I do get to a flash cannon. It is going to be neutral. It doesn't quite do enough there, and I go down. Really close match. Well played. And it goes to 1-1. So we're going to play a third and final match to decide who's going to move on. So, Boss has led Skarmory twice in a row now. So I'm kind of thinking that that's going to happen again. Though I did like my team composition, just switching up the order and leading Melmetal is going to make a big difference if the Skarmory comes out again as a lead, which it does. So I correctly call the lead, switches out a Skarmory right away, and I switch right into a Azumarill. So the first charge move comes up here. I do block, and it is a Hydro Cannon. Good bait on the shield there. So I go for the Hydro Pump, thinking that it won't get shielded, but it does, unfortunately. So I'm thinking here, there's no way this can be an Earthquake. He hasn't done enough mud shots, but apparently it charges quicker than I thought. So I do get hit by that Earthquake, which hurts quite a bit, but I do get to an Ice Beam here. And just barely doesn't finish it off. This was a tough call on whether to shield that or not, and I'm not sure if it would have KO'd or not, but I am able to finish it off with fast moves. I do burn a shield for it, but take the Swampert down. And I do switch back into Melmetal here. And it is the Probopass. And I go for Thunderbolts here because I'm pretty sure you're not going to shield the Probopass here. I know the moves it's running, and neither one will do that much. Magnet Bomb is resisted. Rock Slide's not going to do very much either. I get off another Thunderbolt. I go for the Rock Slide here because either I burn a shield or it'll basically finish it off. I do get the shield there. And the Magnet Bomb comes out again. And I'm going to switch into Metajam to quickly finish it off. Skarmory does come in, which is fine. It does a little over half there. I'm just going to go for the power-up punches here, try to do as much damage as I can before I faint. Not quite able to get to another one. I know my Azumarill doesn't have too much HP left, so I bring it in thinking that the charge move's coming right away, but it doesn't. I'm able to get to an Ice Beam and just able to finish it off. with the Azumarill going down at the same time. So barely able to take that one down. I think Bossa was trying to save up enough energy and then throw the charge move after fanning my Azumarill down with just fast moves. So that was probably really close. Well played. Very well played. That one came down to the wire. So we're going to move on to our next opponent here, which is going to be my Magic Cookie. So you can see the team he's running right there: Azumarill, Skarmory, Venusaur, Swampert, Melmetal, and Alolan Marowak. So Alolan Marowak kind of filling the role of the Ghost type, the anti-Medicham counter, along with having a ground move, albeit not a great ground move, but a ground move, and a really strong hitting move in Shadow Ball as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump right into the first match here. I'm leading Skarmory with Azumarill and Medicham in the back. Quite the eccentric outfit and hair there. But we're going to jump right into it. He leads Azumarill, and I lead Skarmory, which is good because my Azumarill couldn't take that Azumarill because it does not have Play Rough. And Medicham into Azumarill isn't great either. So he's going to get this first move off. I'm not going to block it. It is an Ice Beam. And I'm going to throw the Sky Attack. Which does a lot of damage. And he gets to the Ice Beam, which I am going to block, and get off the Sky Attack, which I'm assuming that that will get blocked as well. So I build up energy here and switch out into Azumarill to try to catch the Ice Beam, which I do. So I've got a Sky Attack on Skarmory saved up for a Medicham or a Venusaur just to take it down quickly. Anything he throws here is not going to do a ton of damage, even if it's Play Rough. So I'm going to be able to finish him off with fast moves. And it's only an Ice Beam. So I'm able to build up a lot of energy there. I'm expecting a Venusaur, and he does bring in Venusaur. I have a lot of energy built up here. I can probably get to 2 Ice Beams, maybe before he gets to a Frenzy Plant. But we'll see. He decides not to shield the first one, and I do get to a second Ice Beam really quick. And I do force out that other shield. And I waited a little bit too long there to switch into Skarmory. So it gets the Frenzy Plant off, and I decide not to shield. It probably would have KO'd me, even with the Frenzy Plant, but it would have been close. And he brings in that Alolan Marowak, and I overtap again, and I'm not able to get to that next Sky Attack. So unfortunately my last Pokemon here is Medicham. And he does a really good shield bait because he knows that I'm in trouble. I do get off the power-up punch. It does next to nothing. And he's going to get off the Shadow Ball and take me out. Well played. So we're jumping right into the second one here. Same matchup as before. I lead Skarmory, he leads Azumarill. We're both building up energy here. He throws an Ice Beam and I don't block. And I get off a Sky Attack. So it's looking pretty much the same as the first matchup here. But I am able to get to a Sky Attack faster. Then he gets to his second Ice Beam. And I switch, and he also switches right away. So we just swapped. Now I have Azumarill and he has Skarmory. I do have 2 shields left, and he does have some energy built up on his Azumarill, so it's sort of a wash right now, but I'm going to try to catch him with the Hydro Pump here. Hoping he doesn't shield. And he does not shield. It's a lot of damage. He does get off a charge move here. I'm fairly certain I can finish him off with fast moves, so I go ahead and block the Sky Attack. And I am able to finish him off. I expected him to bring in Venusaur and he did, so I threw an Ice Beam preemptively. And he does decide to shield it. And I do get off a second Ice Beam. And do most of his HP. And he's going to finish me off with fast moves smartly there. And instead of running Medicham, I brought Sableye, by the way. So this is a Frenzy Plant, so I don't need to block it. Still does a decent amount, but I'm just going to try to finish it off with fast moves there, and I do. He brings that Azumarill back in. And I've got the Sableye in the back. I know if this is play rough, it's going to KO me. I'm really scared about that, so I shield and I do catch the play rough. And I do get to the foul play and take him out. So that was really close. He was probably anywhere from 1 to 3 to getting off another play rough, which would have KO'd Sableye. So we're jumping into the third and decider match. And this time I bring Melmetal and I catch his Azumarill. Really good for me. So I decide to try to shield bait here with Rock Slide. Rock Slide's doesn't do that much less damage, but I do catch his shield, which is pretty important. And he brings in Swampert, so I need to switch right away into Azumarill. I'm pretty sure this is a Hydro Cannon, so I'm not going to block it. And it doesn't do too much damage. So here, I think he's built up enough energy to be able to do an Earthquake, so I block, but it is a Hydro Cannon. And I go for the Hydro Pump here to try to catch him. but he does shield it. I don't know if he thought that was a Hydro Pump or if he just wanted to keep his Swampert alive. So even if this is an Earthquake, I think I can get to an Ice Beam. And it's not, it's a Hydro Cannon. And he gets another Hydro Cannon off. And again, I'm pretty sure I can survive this. And I barely do, and I am able to get to an Ice Beam. So after the match, he told me he actually didn't have another move on Swampert. He just had the Hydro Cannon. And he brings in Azumarill. And I overtap for the 5th time this tournament. And don't get the Ice Beam. It wouldn't have done a ton of damage, but would have been a little bit. And I am able to get the Thunderbolt here. I know he has no shields. Do over half his HP. He is able to get a charge move off. The only thing I'm worried about here is Hydro Pump, and I don't think it's a Hydro Pump, so I don't block. I'm just building up energy here. He does get off another charge move, so I need to block, but I've got a lot of energy saved up here. So he's not running Hydro Pump. Ice Beam, Play Rough. I throw a Thunderbolt. It is that Alolan Marowak, so a Rock Slide would have been better. But it still does a decent amount of damage, and I have so much energy built up that I can just get a Rock Slide off. It will be super effective since it's a Fire type. And we are able to take it out with that. It's a well played in those matches. But we are able to take that one. So there's one more round. I'm currently 3-0, so I'll be going up against the other person who's 3-0, which is Lieutenant Crunch. Shoutouts to him. He's a very good competitor. I played him multiple times now in tournaments. I know this is going to be a pretty tough one. You can see his team there: Azumarill, Medicham, Venusaur, Skarmory, Steelix, and Haunter. So the Steelix is interesting. I was trying to prepare a little bit for it, as well as preparing for the Haunter, because his team's quite different from most of the other teams. But we'll see what he brings, so we'll go ahead and jump into the first one here. Not entirely sure what I brought. We'll see once we get into it. So I lead Skarmory here, and he leads Skarmory. He goes ahead and throws Sky Attack here. So I decided to switch into Melmetal here for some reason. That was a mistake. I did not think he was going to bring Medicham, because I have so many counters to Medicham. I'm really surprised he did. And I tried to shield bait with Rock Slide here, and it does not work. So not a good situation for me at all. I don't decide to shield, and I actually survived that, and I'm able to get a Rock Slide off. Let's see if he shields it. And he doesn't again. Really good no shields by him there. I bring in a Azumarill here. It's going to be another Power Up Punch. I don't need to shield it. And he decides to stay in here with Medicham. He builds up enough energy and switches out there. And I bring in Skarmory. I'm in a really tough position here after losing Melmetal. Really tough. He does get to a charge move. I really need to block this, because Azumarill is going to be a problem since I don't have Play Rough. Get off another Sky Attack. I expect him to block this, and he does. So I know he's not running Hydro Pump here. So I decide to let that go through. And I'm barely able to get to another Sky Attack there. And he doesn't block it. So my last Pokemon's Azumarill. And I am able to finish him off with fast moves, which is good. And he brings in Skarmory. I throw the Hydro Pump, assuming he won't block it. And he blocks it. So that's really bad for me. And Sky Attack's going to do the most damage out of Skarmory and Medicham, so I block that Sky Attack. And he does get to a Sky Attack before the Hydro Pump, which is really bad. It doesn't quite finish me off, but I have so little HP that Medicham will just be able to come finish me off with pretty much just counters. If I had had more HP there, I probably would have been able to finish him off. Even with my bad switch, but well played by him. His shielding was really good. So here, I was thinking, since he led Skarmory, he'll think I'll lead Melmetal, so he'll lead Medicham. So, going off that line of thought, I think I decide to lead Azumarill to try to catch the Medicham. So that's all going through my head right now. And so I keep telling myself, people who win tend not to switch. And you can see I chose Melmetal there, but I was thinking like, okay, he'll think I'll lead Melmetal because he led Skarmory the first time and won. And I keep telling myself, people who win tend not to change up their lead or their team. And he did not. He led Skarmory. So if I had listened to my own dang advice, I would have had a good lead there. But in any case, we're into the match here. He throws a Sky Attack. And I throw the Hydro Pump thinking he won't shield. And he shields it again. His shielding this game was so good. And I tried to switch there to absorb that Sky Attack, but did not switch in time. And again, I make the mistake of switching into Melmetal to try to take his Skarmory down, and he switches into Medicham again. This time I learned from that, so I threw the Thunderbolt instead of the Rock Slide because I'm pretty sure it wouldn't block. And I decided not to block his Power Punch because it won't KO me. And I'm not quite able to get to a Rock Slide, unfortunately. So I bring in a Azumarill again, go for the Ice Beam. And he does decide to block it. So I'm in trouble here. I decide to let that go, and I am able to survive it and get to an Ice Beam. Able to take out the Medicham. But I'm still in a lot of trouble here. I do have one shield. And he brings in his own Skarmory. It's got a lot of HP built up. I don't block it because the Sky Attack won't do that much. I know I need quite a bit of energy to take down whatever's in the back. So I'm gonna try to build up as much energy here as possible while saving my shield. And I throw this Sky Attack right before he got to his. And do finish it off there. And it is a Azumarill, so that's... I don't think he has Hydro Pump on his Azumarill. I don't remember though. But anything here will finish me off. So I'm just trying to build up energy. I block the Ice Beam, get off the Sky Attack. So this is going to be close. Can I get to the Sky Attack before I faint? I do not. Unfortunately. So, well played to Lieutenant Crunch there. He demolished me. His shielding was really good. He just played well overall. I did make mistakes, and that's on me, obviously, but he took advantage of those mistakes very well and was able to 2-0 me to take the tournament. So well played. Well played to everyone that I faced. It was a pretty good tournament. A lot of the people I played aren't actually ranked that high, but put up quite a fight, so I was very impressed with all the people I played. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Comment if you like this type of video. I know that's quite a bit longer than some of my other videos, but these tournaments are pretty fun, and I've started recording them. So if you like this type of video, let me know if you want to see more. Yeah, and I will see you guys later.